Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. It is morning for us right now, afternoon, in the noon. Anyways, hello. How are you doing today? So I just wanted to come on here, just quick, catch up. So Kierlyn went to the ER last night. Or, well, actually not last night, it was yesterday morning. She was there. We got back last night. So yesterday she went to the ER in the morning. So Sunday is when it all started going downhill. Sunday we came back from Indiana. We went and saw my family. And we came back on Sunday. And Sunday she was like not staying awake, and I was like, what is going on? So she wasn't staying awake. Her oxygen was dipping the whole way home, and she was always going up and down. So it was like, So I was like, it might be the read, it might be the sensor. We don't really know, but we'll just figure it out when we get home. So she fell asleep and slept almost the whole way home. And then she was still asleep at home, and we put her on the pulse ox, and it was reading okay, not super good. Her heart rate was 144, and her oxygen was sitting at 92, which isn't great, to be honest with you, but we were just like, let's see what happens. And when her sleeping, 144 is not normal. 144 is not normal even when she's awake, unless she's like pissed off. But anywho, I ended up putting on oxygen and the ventilator at night, Sunday night, because her oxygen went down to 87, was just staying there, and her heart rate was at 145, and I was like, no, this is not good. So I put her on oxygen and put her on the ventilator. It did go down to like in the 130s, her heart rate did, and her oxygen went up to 94. So I was like, okay, cool. And then we kind of had her on the ventilator and oxygen all night and things like that. In the morning, Monday morning, I was chilling out with Carolyn. Everything was fine. I fed her at 9 o'clock. Things were going great. Her eyes were really puffy and swollen, but they usually are in the morning, so I wasn't too worried about it. And then, but she did look like she was feeling just so yucky. So I had her on the pulse ox, and she was okay. Her heart rate was still kind of high, but not as high as it was the night before. Like it was in the 130s or something. And then she had, let me think. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to put all my thoughts in order. And then she had, look at her. She's so funny. She's so cute. I love her so much. She's like, leg all the way up by her face. Always great. That happens. Anyways, we did, pumpkin cake. So I fed her, and she started throwing up, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I took her off the chair, because she was on that chair over there. I don't know if you can see it, that chair over there. And then she was like, and I was like, oh my gosh. I brought her down to the floor. I put her on her side, tried to get her to throw up on the floor. I put a towel underneath her, obviously, so she could throw up on it. Didn't want her throwing up all over the floor, because that's just not comfortable. So anyways, I put her on her side. I had the towel underneath her, maybe kind of having her throw up on the towel. And then I put her on her side because I wanted her to, sorry, I'm shaking the phone a lot. I wanted her to get all of it out. Anywho, I didn't want her to aspirate. That's why I put her on her side. But anyways, so that happened. And then I put her in her, I had her in her pulse ox, and the pulse ox was going insanely nuts with her heart rate and her oxygen, because obviously she was not really, she was holding her breath when she was trying to throw up. And then and it wasn't just food, it was like mucus too, because it was like really gooey and slimy and bleh. Anyways, so that happened. Then when she was done throwing up, she was like crying. I felt so bad. I said, it's okay, it's not, it's all right, like, you're okay, like, mommy is right here, like, I'm not going anywhere, it's okay. And I was like, I have to go get daddy real quick, I'll be right back. So I ran into Trenton's room and I was like, I need you. And he's like, what? And I'm like, SOS, and I need you. And so he was on a meeting. He's like, hey guys, something's going on with my daughter, like, can someone take over for me? So someone took over for him because he was presenting. And he came out and he was like, what's going on? I was like, we need to go to the ER. So I told him what happened, and he's like, oh my goodness. And so we ended up rushing to the ER. On the way to the ER, she started throwing up. I'm glad I sat in back with her, because she was trying so hard not to fall asleep, but she was like doing that thing, and then she was shaking. I was like, why are you shaking? I thought she was having like a fever seizure or something, but she was like shaking, like as if she was like freezing cold, like shivering. And so I put, after I cleaned her up and stuff, I put a blanket on her, but I kind of held her the whole way there, but I held her while she was in her car seat. She was in her car seat, but I was like, like hugging her, like, I love you. She started throwing up, and I have a roll of paper towels, or a roll of toilet paper in my car, just in case anybody gets runny noses, nosebleeds, things happen. So I use it to wipe off Carolyn's stoma, because I don't like using towels or paper towels or anything like that, because it's really sensitive right there. So I use toilet paper. It seems soft, right? Go Charmin. Anyway, so I had a roll of toilet paper in my car for things. And so I grabbed a wad of it, and I like put it under her like thing, and she like started throwing up, and Trent's like, grab a diaper, and I was like, good idea. So I grabbed a diaper and I put it under her like thing, and she threw up a couple more times, and we pulled over. We got a Walmart bag out of the back, out of the trunk. And we got a towel out of the trunk, because I had a towel in there for some strange odd reason. Who knows? It might have been last time we went to the pool. Anyways, so I put all the trash in the Walmart bag, and then I had the towel underneath her, and the rest of the towel draped over her, and I was like hugging her the whole way there after she was done throwing up. And the first time I didn't catch it, she threw up all over herself. I was like, oh my God. So I was like, gosh. So I took her. Sorry, I was so tired. I took her dress off that she threw up all over, and I wiped off her. You okay? I wonder if I need a suction right now. Do you guys hear her? She's like, okay. I think she cleared it. Anyway, so yeah, so she at the end of the section. Anyway, so she we got to the ER. I think we got to the ER. I was like hugging her. She fell asleep, by the way. And we got to the ER. I sectioned her and things, and then I'm trying to think. I cleaned her up, we sectioned her when we got there because she was like super junky. And, you know, the throw up and whatnot was like still going on. Anywho, so that happened. And, oh, you kicking me? Girlfriend? So we ended up doing that, and then we got her all cleaned up and stuff. We got her diaper changed, everything, and then we popped her in the wagon and we went straight to the ER. My baby. So anyway, so we did that, and then we had we went in the ER. They did all the tests. They did urinalysis, they did blood cultures, they did a trach aspirate, they did or trach culture. They did, I'm trying to think. An x-ray, an ultrasound, all the things, right? They did a whole workup. And she was like it was hard for her to stay awake because she was just wanting to go to sleep. And you know, like kids, when they're sick, they want to sleep. When we're sick, we want to, you know, what we do is want to sleep because we feel yucky. I know that when I'm in pain, my body shuts down and wants to go to bed. Her body does the same thing. So when they were like poking her and prodding her, she was just like trying to fall asleep because when my body is in pain, it wants to just go to bed. Because my mind's like, if I go to bed, I won't feel it. Same thing with Carolyn. Her body shuts down when she's in pain, wants to go to bed. So she was trying to fall asleep while they were poking and prodding her, and then I hate that, but they were doing that, and everything was happening, and then they had come back, and they were like, so she has lower left pneumonia, or lower left lobe pneumonia, and we were like, are you freaking kidding me? Now, if you've watched my other videos, you know that she had lower left pneumonia 3 weeks ago when we were in Valparaiso at our family reunion. And then I got it, and then our nurse got it, and then Trent got it. But, yeah. So that sucked really bad, too. We're like, oh, no. So we're like, again? So we think that she may... So if you watch my other videos as well, you know that Carolyn started feeding by mouth. If you were at the family reunion in my family, you saw her drinking out of a sippy cup. So she was drinking out of there, and she may be aspirating a little bit and small enough that we just don't notice, and that could be causing the pneumonia. We honestly don't know. So that could be it, though. We just don't know. That's what we're, thinking. We don't know for sure, but that's the only thing that makes sense of why with thinking of the pattern we've been doing and new things that we've been doing and things that we weren't doing before that we're doing now. Like, it all just kind of makes sense that that's what it might be. Because there's no other reason, unless coincidental someone had pneumonia at the family reunion, and then someone had pneumonia at her school, and then she brought it to our family reunion or whatever. It would just be so coincidental if that happened. But anywho, so I'm like coughing, like I better not have it. She's contagious for like 24 hours until she's on antibiotics. So, what else? That's really it. They wanted to admit her, and I was like, why are we admitting her? And they're like, for observation. And I'm like, because, like, we can observe her here. We have night nursing. We have day nursing. Like, why do we need to observe? My nurses can observe her way better than the nurses there. The nurses don't take care of her there. I'm the one that ends up taking care of her. If the parents are there, they're hands off. They're none. They do like her regimen and stuff, and they do her feeding and stuff, but changing diapers, watching her, doing things with her. I don't do anything with her. It's up to us. Even if parents are not there, they don't do nothing with her. They don't watch her as closely as our night nurse does, or I would even, so. And even when I watch her at night, I sleep, but I wake up to the alarms. I am very attentive to her. I wake up 50 million times during the night, make sure she's okay. Like, paranoid mom in me, But anyways, so so right now we got home last night because I was like, I don't feel comfortable taking a bed from a kid that may come in here and actually need it, and then they have to wait. I don't like that. I don't feel good about that. Because I know how hard that is, because we've been in there with serious problems with Carolyn, and she needed to be admitted, and we had to wait for a bed for like 20 minutes. I don't feel comfortable doing that when a kid might actually need a bed. One, and two, if you're keeping her for observation, that makes no sense. We might as well just observe her here. So our night nurse came last night, and so they were like, okay, we'll send you home. And a doctor came in there, and she said, I am so happy to see when parents advocate for their child. It just makes me so happy that there are still parents out there that just are gung-ho about their kids and advocates for them. So I really praise you guys for that. And we're like, yeah, for sure, because Trenton came with us, and so it was just, I love hearing that. And I know, like, you guys are always like, oh my gosh, you're such a great mom, like, you do all the things for your child, and that makes me happy, because there are a lot of other people that are like, you neglect your child, you ignore her, like, you don't even care about her, you miss her feedings, blah, 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 which is not true. But people say that. People are haters, people say things in the moment when they're mad, things like that. It makes me feel happy when I do hear from a third party that is not my family, or things that I am doing things right, and I am a good mom, and we are advocating for our child. Like, it's just nice to hear that from a third party, that doesn't really know me, so that's nice. But because you all know, I do try to do everything for her. Like, I want her to have the best life she can have right now, and I want her to be able to be as typical as possible. And for those that know, she hung out with 3 of her cousins at the family reunion, and she loved that. One of them had mitochondrial dystrophy. 2 of them did not, but she loved it. You could tell she was having so much fun. And if you are their parents, you know who you are. If you guys are watching, thank you so much. I know one of them is watching, because he told me. He's like, my mom watches your videos all the time. It's like, thank you. So if you're the parents, you know who you are. Thank you so much for, teaching your kids that it's okay to play with Carolyn and treat her like they are her cousin, because she is their cousin, and you guys are doing great with your children too. So, and you know who you are if you're watching this. So anyways, yeah, everything has been great, and she was doing so good, and then she went, I don't know. But anyways, they came back, and she had, I don't know if I told you this, she has lower left lobe pneumonia. I told you that. So hopefully she will get better. She's on antibiotics. They sent her home last night. They kind of heard my concern about observing her, and they were like, well, if you have a night nurse, it's fine. So We don't have a day nurse today, but I am alert and ready to watch her today. But anyways, sorry, this is a long video. It's like 20 minutes. But anyways, that's what's going on. We will keep you updated. She's doing great. She's back to baseline. They gave her a miracle drug in the ER, and an hour later, she's perfectly fine. So, always happens. They gave her some miracle drug, and then she's back to baseline. She was back to baseline for like 4 hours after I was like, "You're just observing her?" Nah, she's good. So, anyways, that's what happened. And now she's fine because I'm watching her, and she's flipping upside down, doing all the gymnastic stuff. So, anyways, all right. Well, thanks for watching. We will definitely keep you updated on how she's doing, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.